acceptable. Cause when I was 15, 17, I wasn't robbing people with my goddamn gun. I wasn't getting a gun and robbing cars and breaking into cars. I've never done that, broke into the damn car. And it seems like that's all the activities that they seem to do now. Recent data confirmed what all Baltimore residents are feeling. We are having a juvenile crime problem. New report shows that juveniles charges has tripled from 191 in 2022 to 590 in 2024. That's a 208 increase just in less than 3 years. While our Baltimore City leaders are fighting for responsibility in this crime denial, the Baltimore State Attorney even notes that juvenile charges has risen 146% in the last year. These charts is telling a clear story. The city is grappling with a youth problem. Thankfully, I'm here to tell you about it because who else is? I mean, I guess everybody else could see it. I'm sorry, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Let me do the intro. Baltimore Blaze, once again. Thank you for tuning in for another video. I don't know if this is your first video, but as you can tell, I'm a nigga with a computer. Got a couple facts. I just take problems and I just digest them for different audiences. That's what I would say. You know, I'm here for the content. So today we're tackling the youth crime problem in Baltimore. So let's just start off and let's get right into it. One thing notably that we can tell that these crimes are getting more serious and more dangerous. Just in this recent weekend, the police have documented a flurry of carjacking of robberies. One specifically, it was a pair of 15-year-olds that robbed somebody at gunpoint for that vehicle, and then they crashed it a couple blocks away, and the police then the police arrested them nearby that crash area, and they was found with a BB gun. Later on in that same day, 4 juveniles, one of them was already on an ankle monitor, led the police on a stolen police chase. And I mean, all of these are not isolated incidents. It's another incident over the weekend that happened where they know for sure that one teen or a group of teens broke into like 112 cars in one night. So these are not isolated incidents. A lot of them have connections. They all know each other, and this was all just in the last recent weekend. So this just kind of to really explain the more dangerous crimes. And it's just so many times where they get caught and they've been robbing people at gunpoint this whole time, and they get found with a BB gun, you know. But it's a lot of times where they actually get caught with an actual firearm. So I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it on YouTube, but that doesn't matter. But the real problem is that when I say juveniles, I actually mean juveniles. Some of these crimes that I'm just talking about over the last recent weekend has involved people at the ages of 12 to the highest of 17. And so many times, of course, these kids get caught because when you was 12 or 13, did you know how to drive a car? Let alone drive a car on a police speed chase. So basically all these armed robberies, all these carjackings just end up in shootings and car crashes, and they pretty much just run and they get caught all the time. But our city doesn't practically believe in probation. They don't believe in sentencing juveniles. I'll have to play a couple clips of that when I have somebody. I have somebody of more prominent standards, because I'm just a nigga with a white tee. I have the clip I have. He's somebody that you can hear him say it. You know what I mean?
They are looking for us to respond to them in a time where every bit of research tells us that they are experiencing high levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, and their peers are the ones who are most likely to give them attention. So long-term consequences, not a part of what they're thinking about. The idea of punishment is low. Plus, they're young. Right? And they think that they can bounce back. They are invincible in many ways. And so, no, punishment is not on their mind.
It's just sad, though, but people do what they do.
We come up with who's driving our violence, who's doing the shooting.
Commissioner Richard Worley says a small number of juveniles are causing problems.
We had a 13-year-old over the weekend we caught with a handgun in Cherry Hill. And it's just incredible that these kids aren't learning. So there's got to be some discipline for the ones who continue to commit crimes.
Last week, WJZ obtained video of what the victim believes are young people breaking into a Southeast Baltimore restaurant.
Unfortunately, when they're sent home, they're going right back out there and doing some of the same behavior.
While overall crime is down in the city, he says arrests and charges for juvenile offenders have skyrocketed.
But our city, especially with juvenile charges, they mainly over 85% in they basically end up in intake, whereas they catch you with a firearm, they catch you with a stolen vehicle and some cash that you robbed somebody with. Then they handcuff you, take you back to the detention center, the juvenile detention center, which we're going to talk about later. And then they basically just put it under your name or put it under your juvenile record, and then you get released out back into the public. I pretty much talked about that in my last video, but that's actually what has happened with over 85% of our arrests. Just to remind you, all the recent crimes that I brought about, the handcuff, the multiple carjackings, the 112 carjackings, that was all done in one night and by the same person. They already know it was. The shooting that led in the gunpoint, that BB gun that led into a car chase, and they got let out the same day and then they got chased during the same day they stole a different car. This was all in the recent weekend. So just let alone talk, I didn't even get to about what's happened last month or what happened last year, or it just happened to make these juvenile crimes. But one thing, this channel is not a gossip channel. I'm not about to sit here and break down all these crimes that these little niggas did. It's they crimes at the end of the day. And better for me to describe in all these crimes, I'm just gonna break it down in 3 categories. On the streets, bullets and wrecked cars is all you can see nowadays with all these juveniles, but majority of the time they can really categorize what they're doing into 3 categories. We have multiple carjackings and theft, we have violent robberies, and we have police pursuits. These are the main 3 things that happen in every single juvenile charge. And you know, I made this video not only to inform you, I also made this video to find some sense for myself personally, because I definitely remember when I was 12, 13, 16, 17, I never had the urge to break into a car or fucking rob somebody at gunpoint, you know? So I really did a research for this video to specifically find some clarifying. And I'm gonna tell you right now, before we get any further, I didn't find any clarification. These niggas are wild. Practically, these niggas think it's a GTA game and they living in a server and they think they can just die and respawn. There is no, I'm telling you now, the end of the video, I didn't find no clarification to why all these violent juvenile crimes are happening now. I mean, I wish I could. I could blame the schooling system, you know. I could blame our media and our governors and mayors for telling us that it's getting safer and Baltimore is not, and they trying to take responsibility for a crime decrease. But I mean, like, you just talking about arrests, like you just arrested less people. Like, what do you mean you just decreased crime? Like, what do you even mean that? And the fact that you turn on the news and they are literally fighting over responsibility, like the Baltimore state attorney trying to take responsibility, the mayor trying to take responsibility, the governor trying to take responsibility, all for what? For a decrease in crime, for a decrease in arrests. At the end of the day, when our juvenile can't read. Our juveniles are stealing cars and at gunpoint and robbing stores and shit. One of the stories that I found was that these young juveniles, I'm not gonna keep saying young niggas. I can't do that because I know some white people that found their way to this page and they just obsessed with that word that they can't even hear the vision that I'm trying to say. But I'll just say these young juveniles on this particular day, it's called a botched robbery. They tried to rob a store market, and of course they went in there with guns, but you know before they used the gun, they tried to set this nigga on fire. Imagine walking to a shop mart and these YNs poured lighter fluid on the shopper, on a clerk. on the person that was behind the cash register practically. And these are all documented. I hope that I have all the footage and I'll put it over everything I'm saying. But these are all documented videos. It was a botched armed robbery where they tried to rob a store by setting the store clerk on fire. And they got caught. They were juveniles. They had BB guns on them. They tried to set a shop clerk on fire. They tried to rob a store. And you know what happened with them? They didn't get probation. They didn't get a sentence. They didn't get a court summons. They got intake. They got caught, documented. They did this on this day, and they got let go. And those are the type of violent crimes that's happening. That's what makes this so bizarre to me. Now we're going to talk about the community. What are the people saying this? Am I the only nigga that's on camera saying that we have a problem? I could play a montage. I said this in my last video. I could play a 30-minute montage of just random clips just over the years of Maryland residents saying that we don't have control over our youth and they don't even know how to read. So who is controlling them? NBA YoungBoy? Is that the person? Let me stick to the script. I'm getting off script. Let me buy it. Residents and officials are shaking. You know, we had a town hall meeting, and it was one of the people that was there to listen to the residents' problem was the Baltimore top prosecutors. And during this meeting, hundreds of citizens came to basically get a mic and say, I'm tired of this shit happening. What is going on? You're the top prosecutor. Why are these kids not getting consequences for stealing my cars? And it was literally quotes. I'm going to quote people. That was just a paraphrase, but actually quotes. People were just blurting out at the end of the day, I just pray they stop killing each other. They were just screaming out, these kids today, they just so dangerous. The fear is serious in our neighborhoods because it's really affecting us, you know? They robbing niggas like me. If you see me coming out the apartment building, you think I got something to give you but my car? That's the only thing I have to my possession, you know? Shit like that. But my car, you want my clothes off my back? Like, what do you think I have? They robbing people like me. It's just messed up, you know? Ivan Bates, he wasn't at the city hall with all these city citizens was complaining to. He basically saw the footage of it and reacted, like said a quote to that. And his quote was, we have to let young people know that there are consequences for their actions and they have to be held accountable. But like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Over time over again, we finally get a little piece of drop from our Baltimore leaders, and they say shit like this. What does that mean? This nigga robbed me at gunpoint and busted my head. It's another story. One of the people at the city hall meeting was saying how, yeah, I'm close with my neighbor, and my neighbor was a victim to this, and they didn't rob her at gunpoint. They didn't hit her or nothing. They set her on fire. Why these niggas setting people on fire? Who taught them that? Was it the crackheads? I don't even know. I'm sorry. I'm getting frustrated. You ever set somebody on fire? No. She never set nobody on fire. Have you, comment under this video right now, have you ever set somebody on fire before? Have you ever sprayed lighter fluid on a person? Like, what the hell? What the hell-y? I'm sorry, is that trend out? People done saying that? Yeah, it's still in, so I'm good. So maybe this YouTube video will get more views because I said what the hell in it, you think? Let's talk about the next part. Now we're going to get to the part where we talk about what have our elected officials done. We're going to talk about everything from the living conditions in the detention center. We're going to talk about everything to the recent news, because that's the reason why this video would have been out. This is my second time doing this video. It's just while I was in the process of whipping it, some new shit came out. And I'm like, what, I'm about to ignore it? So let's get into it. At this point, no one is holding back criticism. Our political leaders, like our governor, Wes Moore, me personally, I feel like he was forced his hand he didn't even know anything about this. He don't care. But he noticed, he announced that the Secretary of Juvenile Services, Vincent Shahoudy, would be immediately stepping down. And the quote, to say quote, we'll see what he said. He was blamed for the widespread failures. Quoted. He said widespread failures. And the Governor Westmore's quoted also said it's accountability crisis going on. And these were the quotes and type of things he said in the same breath of saying that he fired that nigga on TV, Vincent Strinaldi. And of course he would get fired because the living conditions in the detention juvenile, the place you drive by, I put a picture of the building. You know, this place you drive by all the time, these are where they take the juveniles after they finish robbing somebody with a BB gun or, you know, stealing that car and crashing it somewhere. After they get caught, they get brought to this building. And first of all, they're not gonna get, of course, he's responsible. One of the reasons why they're responsible for not getting any consequences. Then also, the living conditions are inside. Like, not only are you gonna get let go, but like, of course you're gonna get let go, but while you in there, the living conditions are bad. Like, just imagine a mattress, no sheet, bread with a little piece of meat, one piece of meat. Like, bad living conditions. Mattresses on the floor, bugs in the sky. That center that you drive by almost every day is a bad place to live in. And it's bad for the juveniles, of course. I know I've been bashing them. I know I've been saying they need harder sentences. But at the end of the day, nobody should be living in those conditions, period. So yes, Vincent Shahoudy, the person that was immediately forced to step down, I guess that's the fall guy. They're blaming him with all the widespread failures, violent offenders being released, and all the living conditions within the center where they're being held at. Just all in all, just not being great at your job, such and such. This is the fall guy, and of course the Baltimore mayor, Brandon Scott, which. If you know this channel, if you click on my channel, I did a video on him way back when I first started, and it'll be nice to revise that, and I would enjoy redoing that. So if you want me to redo that, I want you to comment right now, Scotty Too Hottie Part 2. Okay, let's keep going. But he released a statement with the Secretary of Juvenile Services being released. He said, Governor Westmore's decision to make a change at the head of the Department of Juvenile Services is the right one. He also said, focus on the work needed to fix our juvenile system that has been flawed and outdated for decades. You know, it's so great, but like, what does that mean? Like, nigga, he been in charge for a little bit bopper, and he just saying this? I mean, but let me keep my opinion. Let me keep the information flowing. At the state level, lawmakers as of 2024 are pushing in laws to the judges to allow charges for 10 to 12-year-olds to get more probational, more sentences for things like guns and car theft and animal cruelty. But who out here hurting the cats? Oh, I didn't even know that. Animal cruelty. But but at the end of the day, new blood is coming into Baltimore. You know, once a person gets fired, the first thing the boss start doing is looking for new clients. So Governor Westmore has announced Betsy Fox Talatino, a nonprofit leader who works with at-risk youth, is acting Secretary of Juvenile Services. She already has experiences. She already been in the juvenile services for a couple years, and now she's the acting secretary. So she's in charge for now. But that is the person that's replacing Shahoudy, Betsy Fox Tolentino. So we're gonna see how it goes. We know her background. She's already been in the juvenile services, so she does have experience on how it works, how has it been working. So hopefully she's here for the betterment of all of us. So what is next? The Baltimore juvenile crime story is far from over, and hopefully this will be a staple to this YouTube channel so I can keep covering it, and it give me a reason to, not only other than I'm crazy and I'm doing it for myself. The communities are shaking, the businesses are shaking, everybody is getting out of Baltimore, not because of the immigrants, because of the juveniles, because of Tanisha kids, And I'm not going to start doing stereotypes, but it's a problem. This video is to address that it's a problem, and I hope that this video is a platform for community residents like myself to state their stake. If you know somebody that's been into this, if you know somebody that's been on the other end, if you know somebody that's been the victim to it, just leave a comment to really express how this been affecting to not only you but to the people around you, because it is a problem, you know, and it's a problem that is not going to end well if it's left unattended, you know. So I hope this video was a video to bring more awareness to that. I'm not nobody to make revolution there. I'm not Maya Angelou. I'm sorry. Shout out to Maya. I'm a nigga with a camera and a laptop. So only thing I can do is bring awareness. Yeah, that's the only thing I can do is bring awareness. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. And my laptop is about to die, so it's about that time to wrap it up. If you like this video, if you got to this point, I want you to show your appreciation by commenting, "These kids need their ass whooped." Comment that. If you got to this point, comment that. Then I will know that you're a real person like me, and I'll know that I'm not crazy. Thank you again for getting to this, for watching my video. I appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.